Their principal weapon is pride. The demons will try to sow pride in our hearts, try to encourage us to look at anything that we've done, see what good deeds I've done, see how well I've helped this person or that, or how I've prayed so continuously. And there the pride will strip us of any benefit of the struggle and the victory that we may have achieved. The demons will provide opportunities also for us to become proud. They will offer us words from other people, the circumstances of our lives. They will try to promote pride. Meanwhile, God will offer us opportunities to be humbled. And the world will say to us that the exact opposite is true. When we are called successful by the world, when we are called a winner, when we have status, when people speak well of us, then the opportunity for pride is there and our very salvation may be at risk. When we fall, when people recognize our failings, when people speak ill of us, though we know we have done nothing wrong, this by the world will be said to be a great calamity, and yet it may be the working out of our salvation. It may be the opportunity God gives us to be humble, to allow humility to grow in our hearts. So we must be careful how we discern these different occasions in our lives and the way that people react to us. We must be led by feelings of desire to be puffed up and proud and to misinterpret the way things are occurring for us.
So what's the way to be fulfilled? Empty yourself. And it's really key that people understand this. Humility is not hating yourself, it's not looking down on yourself, it's not beating yourself up, it's not afflicting yourself. Humility is to empty yourself. The point of Christianity and orthodoxy is not to be a good Christian. You're never going to be a good Christian in many ways. Christ promised that. No one is good but God alone. The point is to be an empty Christian. If you can empty yourself out of egoism, which is where a lot of this self-love movement comes from, if you empty yourself out of egoism, then suddenly your heart becomes an empty vessel that can be filled with the grace of God. The devil really doesn't care so much about making men fall into lust. If you fall into lust, there's always repentance. Christ gave us the gift of repentance, and so we can live out our repentance more fully. The demon knows that. So the demons, what they really want is not to make men fall into lust, but to fall into despair. And that's the shame that we want to conquer. They want to make us fall into despair so that we stop seeking Christ altogether. We really want to avoid that. Christ could take lust away from a man like that. But the reason he doesn't is the same as with all the passions, is because the struggle is our salvation. And actually learning to properly battle against lust, men will learn the spiritual life. They'll learn how to pray in a way that they never would have otherwise. They'll learn how to fast. They'll learn how to do prostrations, how to read the scriptures. They're going to learn to become better, more fulfilled men because of this struggle. St. Ambrose of Optina was asked, how did you learn to be such a master of the Jesus prayer? Who taught you? Was it the elder before you, St. Leonid of Optina? He goes, no, it wasn't him. Was it this elder Hilarion? No, it wasn't him either. Well, then who taught you? And he said, I had the best teacher in the world, the devil. The devil taught me to pray, because every time he attacked, I went and prayed more, and that's where I learned how to pray. We will never succeed in this fight against lust if men fight against lust and against the demon of lust. In doing so, all you do is get into a conversation with him, and guess what? He is much smarter, much more experienced than you in the fight. He's going to make you fall. What you have to do is want something more than you want lust. You have to fight for a purity that you want more. You have to fight for Christ. You have to fight for the spiritual life. You have to fight for all these things, for your family. You have to find the things that you're fighting for more than you're fighting against lust. And if those become a greater motivator for you, you're fighting for those things and learning them, and you refuse the devil despair, then you'll have victory in this eventually. And I've seen men conquer this. It takes time, but that time really does teach them the spiritual life, and they become better Christians and better men because of it.